Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's public comment section for the Court of Common Council for the City of Hartford. My name is Mally Rosado, and I'm the council president. With me joining tonight are Councilman James Sanchez, Councilman LeBron, Councilwoman Rossetti, Councilwoman Bermudez, and our Majority Leader, Councilman TJ Clark. For the record, I'm calling this meeting to order. And for public housekeeping, public comment shall be conducted in accordance with the following procedures. Each person wishing to address the council or committee thereof shall, upon recognition by the presiding officer, give his or her name, address, and if he or she represents a group, shall in addition state for the record the name and address of said group or organizations, and shall limit his or her remarks to 3 minutes. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any individual member. Any person making personal impertinence or slanderous remarks or who becomes boisterous while addressing the council shall be forthwith barred by the presiding officer from further audience at said meeting unless permission to remain is granted by a 2/3 vote of council members present and voting. During the public comment, there shall not be a debate by the council, although questions may be asked by council or persons making such presentation. For members of the community, please be advised that this meeting is being broadcasted and recorded by Hartford Public Access Television and can be viewed via the HPA-TV Facebook page, Comcast Xfinity Channel 96, www.hpatv.org or channel 6032 for Frontier customers. Spanish interpretation is provided through a partnership with the City of Hartford and Hartford Public Library. Additionally, any accommodations can be made available with enough notice to the Council President's office. With that said, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And the first person to speak is Ms. Donna Swar. Donna, you're on mute. If you could unmute yourself, you have the floor.
Greetings, everybody. I hope everyone is well. My name is Donna Swar, and I live at 8 Schultes Place, and I'm just representing myself. I'd like to address the lack of commissioners. There are 39 boards and commissions. Each of these boards or commissions have a city ordinance which describes its purpose, composition, and term information. Most of these have numerous vacancies for years. Many of the entities do not have a quorum. I'm asking that the City Council address the issue of commission vacancies. The most important role of the boards and commissions is to allow the residents to engage in local government. Some are decision-making bodies, some just provide an advisory role. But without those appointments to commissions, these commissions cannot function. The Asylum Hill Association noted the lack of appointments and other issues with the Civilian Oversight Policing Board in its recent open letter to the Mayor and City Council. The process to become a commissioner appears to be straightforward. A person fills out an online form and submits a resume. The mayor's office reviews the nominations and then nominates an appointee to a commission for approval of the City Council. The council refers the nomination to a committee, and if accepted, the nomination returns to the council for a vote. The biggest barrier in the application process is the resume. Most people don't have one. It behooves the mayor's office and council to provide a simple form for people to fill out to remove this elitist requirement. It is the town clerk's role to annually document the commission appointees in October. But when I perused the most current one, 2020 to 2021, it documented some vacancies, but not all. The Park and Rec Advisory Commission is allotted 21 slots, and yet we only have 13 commissioners. The commissions need your help in filling the seats. Recruitment is not included as a commission role in the ordinances, and yet many times it is the commission that seeks out new members only to be met with a lengthy, arduous process. In the past, it has taken almost a year to get new commissioners appointed. There was a good start at restaffing the commission's provision of training for commissioners and documentation in 2019, but it seems that the ball has been dropped. There are many times in decision-making that the council is required to hear input from a commission or adhere to a commission's decision, for example, planning and zoning. The council may want to review the commission's purpose to determine if they are still relevant or require modification. My recommendation is to organize a task force to remedy this lack of commissioners. The composition of an effective task force would require a representative from the mayor's office, town clerk's office, city council member, and a few commission representatives. Lastly, I was upset to learn about the issue in the Vital Record Office, namely the lack of good internal controls and segregation of duties related to the supervisor's recording of transactions in preparation of the daily batch balancing and cash deposit process, as well as the unlawful shredding of documents. A source of funding of our city's coffers has been raided. While the shredding of documents is in violation of a state statute, the other violations are within city's domain. Once again, the city of Hartford's reputation for corruption and poor management have been reinforced. I ask, where was the oversight? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna Soar, for your comments. Councilwoman Bermudez, you have your hand up.
Hello? Sorry, my hand, that's being hijacked by my 4-year-old, sorry.
Okay. Is Ms. Calderon with us this evening? Ms. Calderon? David, is Ms. Calderon on the line?
No, she's not.
Okay. Is there anyone else on the line that wishes to participate in public comment? Going once. Is there anyone on the line that wishes to participate in public comment? Going twice. Is there anyone on public comment that wishes to participate? Going a third time. For the record, Councilman Mixtum has joined us. With that said, we did have two speakers, Ms. Dinosaur and Ms. Calderon. Ms. Calderon has not logged on. And I'm just going to wait a couple of more minutes to see if she does log on, since it's only 6:07. Councilman Sanchez.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment, and that comment is about the Delta variants that's hit this country. Just want to, ask to everyone continue using their masks, and also to encourage those that that haven't received the vaccine to get vaccinated. It's important to combat this Delta variant so that we can continue on with some kind of normalcy in life. And, I'm sure I would like to ask our Majority Leader, TJ Clark, for some comments as to what can be done for this Delta variant, and if we can continue doing the same as we've been doing for the last year and a half.
And if I may, Majority Leader Clark, before you answer Councilman Sanchez, so that you don't have to listen to me twice. I've had some residents today text me to see if I knew of any 24-hour COVID vaccine places that are offering those services. If you could shed some light on that, if you know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you know, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, through you, and thank you, Councilman Sanchez, for your question. I want to start with indicating that effective July 1st of this year, the protocol by way of getting tested for COVID-19 had changed statewide. So as many would probably remember, when you would go get tested, particularly in Hartford, the Hartford residents, when you go get tested in Hartford, you saw the flyers that said that there was no cost to you because of the state's partnership that it had with many of the healthcare partners within the city of Hartford. But since then, that had changed. And so really that kind of had, I would say, in a way, restricted people from getting COVID tested, because now the cost of the test is on that person of getting tested. And at some of the locations, it would require you to get a checkup via telehealth by a medical provider before you actually can even get COVID tested. And many people are still not able to get COVID tested on the same day. Thankfully, through the leadership of the mayor and our Health and Human Services Director, the Royal Recreation Center is back up and running for COVID testing. And Charter Oak Health Center is doing for this month free COVID, no cost to you COVID testing on Thursdays. However, after that, after the funds run out for Royal and after those Thursdays, really residents are restricted to where they can get tested for COVID. And again, it deals with the cost now being on the person who's getting tested. Now that may have to hit your deductible and you have to deal with your insurance company on to see how much actually you're going to pay. You could be looking at as little as $35 all the way up to $120. It all depends. Also, too, you may be charged with receiving a bill from the laboratory that is doing the processing for the COVID test. So what I would do if I were anyone that is looking at this public comment, I would urge you to contact all the city council members that you see, also to the mayor's office and also to the governor's office to urge that there would be the program that once was instituted, that the state was paying for COVID tests to be reinstituted, because as it's being seen throughout the news, the Delta variant is very strong and is one that is more powerful than what we would call the Alpha. And it takes no one by name and it attacks those who are unvaccinated and also to our little babies. And as a father of 2 children who are not able to get vaccinated because they are not at the age of 12, it is very alarming as we continue to go through the summer months and as we're going to be entering into the school season beginning very shortly at the end of this month. So I think that's what we need as a city, and more importantly, the state, for this partnership to be reinstituted. There was an article in the paper where it noted that the state paid, I think it was reimbursing healthcare and healthcare institutions $91 a test. And I think the state maybe had paid overall $1 million for this program. I think this is what needs to be reinstituted to ensure the safety of our friends, our family, and our cities.
Thank you, Councilman Majority Leader. Councilman Sanchez, before that, I just want to allow Ms. Raquel Calderon to speak. She has joined us. Ms. Calderon, David, if you can bring her on. Ms. Calderon, if you could unmute yourself and state your full name and address for the record, you have the floor.
And I live on Adelaide Street in Hartford. And thank you for the opportunity to let me speak. And I'm over here to, first of all, to give you the good news. I went around, I was visiting some people in the community, and they are very happy with the mayor about the library. They told me they're excited about it and they're excited about the new buildings. And they also, of course, gave me the other side. They told me that the south end of Hartford is forgotten. And then they not only complaining about the mayor, but this is what is the city council doing about the south end. Everything is somewhere else. The south end seems to be forgotten. And so those are the good news. And the other thing that I wanted to talk is about, I'm very concerned about Myra. I would like to support them very strongly about Myra going away from Hartford. We should close the place completely. And I am saying completely with a passion. If you really care about Hartford, we need to fight to the end. The other thing is, yes, that the airport should be closed. And I am excited that finally someone is moving forward to start talking about development. And I hope it's soon so I can be able to enjoy that. But I think that's a great idea, and we should all help them. We should all of us help them to do this. And, and they just talking about the negative things about this. It's going to cost us so much money, and the taxpayer, listen, it's costing us a lot of money. And the people that I visited in the community also, they telling me about Myra and how the Brainerd Airport stinks, the whole area. So that place needs to be closed. People are getting sick. And, it sounds, to me, it seems like they think that Hartford deserves to have this kind of treatment. And that's not what I believe. And thank you for listening tonight. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Calderon, for your comments.
Okay. Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening. Councilman Sanchez, before we close the meeting, Councilman Sanchez or Councilman Clark?
I just had one question before Councilman Sanchez to answer your question. So there are 24-hour, well, kind of 24, but there are more rapid tests available outside of the city of Hartford, such as there's one urgent care facility in Bloomfield on Cottage Grove Avenue. There's one on Prospect Street. Then there's also, I know Hartford Healthcare, some of their Go Health urgent care facilities are doing testing where you can receive your results within that same day. But I would just urge people to go online just to verify those locations because it continues to change.
And for the record, and I see you, Councilman Mixtum, and I just want to acknowledge Councilman Gale, who's with us this evening. So have you heard anything about vaccinations? How one time I know that we did like a 24-hour, right? I know there were people getting vaccinations at 1 o'clock in the morning. Has there been any talk about that?
No, from my conversations, no, it's just been the push to get as many people vaccinated as possible. We still have a low fully vaccinated rate in the city of Hartford. And, it's at the point where we need to continue to push and educate and also to encourage those that are not vaccinated to get vaccinated. However, I must pause to say there are a number of people who have only received one vaccination and not their second one yet. So we do need to encourage those to make sure that they're getting their second vaccine. And I just would like to say that, the Hartford Public Schools, I know next Tuesday is doing a back to school event at 5 locations around the city, where each of those locations are going to have a healthcare partner to provide vaccinations to the residents, and I believe the family members as well. So that's encouraging, and I would encourage every resident that if their child or whomever they have guardianship over to consider getting vaccinated at one of those sites. I mean, we're at the point where we must continue to educate and to push this, because there are people every day that are getting COVID. I found out 3 people over the weekend that I personally know that was tested positive for COVID. And one actually I was just talking to before the public comment has severe symptoms. So this is something that we cannot afford to play with.
Okay. Before I go to Councilman Mixtum, are you all set, Councilman Sanchez?
No, I just want to make 2 statements for the veterans in our local community. Whether it's Hartford, the greater Hartford area, you can go to the VA hospital in the local branch in Newington, and make sure you give them a phone call first. And that number is 860-666-6951. 860-666-6951, and that's for the veterans that if they did not get the vaccine or if they want to get tested, give them a call. They'll set up an appointment for you, and it's the local VA hospital here in Newington. The other statement I want to mention is that if you're traveling outside of the continental U.S. to, let's say, Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands or even Hawaii, make sure you call the airport where your destination is at, because they may have a declaration page online that you have to fill out and also upload your vaccine card, so that they can identify you when you get there, because some of these areas are charging up to $300 for either a test and or vaccination, which is mandated sometimes. So make sure you call your destination airport and find out what their protocols are, just so you can have a better travel experience.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilman Mixtum?
Thank you, Madam President, and thanks to both Councilman Sanchez and Councilman Clark for that information. I just wanted to add, as far as testing goes, that now most drugstores do have the home tests, which obviously, depending what you need it for, sometimes that's not what you have to get. Like if you need it for a job or certain things, they want a PCR test, which has to be administered by medical folks. But if you just have symptoms and you're not sure, those home tests are, I think, $25 for 2. So fairly affordable, and someone can do it at home. So that's just, people should know that that option exists too if they're struggling to get to a place where they're having a problem, as Councilman Clark mentioned, with their insurance.
Thank you for that. Well, that concludes our public section comment. Thank you to all of my council colleagues. This meeting is adjourned, and I will see you guys shortly for our regular scheduled council meeting at 7. Thank you.